Thank you for joining us on Black Investments Matter. I'm Antoine Anderson. This is the Ujamaa Network, and let's talk about the money. We just got open record reports from one of our local news stations on just how much each of the lead attorneys in the Georgia election scandal case is earning. It may surprise you, may not. Well, in case you've been living under a rock, Fulton County has just been going through it when it comes to being in the national spotlight as it relates to this Georgia election interference trial. So much so that the district attorney who's under fire right now had to come out, or at least chose to come out, and address some of the um, allegations that's been levied against her and the lead prosecutor, Mr. Nathan Wade. Now, what was disclosed in this denunciation of a sort was that there were actually three attorneys that are on file and have been hired by the district attorney. But what we found out through open records requests and the investigation of one of our local news stations, shouts out to 11 Alive, is that the pay disparities between these attorneys are quite massive. Now, we're going to talk about the exact numbers, but before we get into that, we're going to also talk about what an attorney actually is charging the state for. What kind of things do attorneys in these cases do that are billable? To understand that there are applications, software applications out there. I used to sell them for God's sake. One that I sold was called Sage. It was called Time Slips. Sage was the company. These are applications that keep track of all the time that an attorney or an accountant spends on a client's case. So whenever you go before a judge and you need something documented and you need an attorney or financial advisor or someone who's going to provide professional services organizing your case, you're going to get billed per hour for their fee, for their services. Some of the things that they are going to charge you for are researching performance into your case itself. They're going to be prepping witnesses. They're going to be drafting briefs. Think of these briefs are long term papers, if you will, on each count. Every time an attorney has to file paperwork in the courthouse or have to appeal or file a motion or answer a motion, they're going to charge you for these things. These things cost money. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that all of these charges that we are paying these attorneys are going to be justified, but that's yet to be seen. In the meantime, we're going to have to talk about the money. Now, there are three attorneys, Nathan Wade being one of them. Then there was Anna Cross and John Floyd. John Floyd, out of the three, made the least amount of money. He was in the neighborhood of, I believe it was $72,000. So in the $72,000 range. In the time frame that we're talking about. The next highest paid attorney was Anna Cross. Now, Anna Cross and John Floyd were hired in as consultants. It is important to note that it's not the lead attorney who is the foremost authority in the nation on RICO charges. That title goes to John Floyd. John Floyd is regarded as the most sought after RICO prosecutor in the land, not just in Georgia, in the country. So let's make that distinction. And he's on the payroll. Though he's not making as much as Nathan is, it is a substantial kind of notch in his belt, because if anything were to happen, let's say that the allegations leveled against Wade will lead to him being dismissed from this case, and that's pretty much all that can happen, is that the lead attorney would be dismissed, even if the allegations turn out to be true. That's it. Nobody's going to jail for that. But it has to be proven first. That said, the amount of money that Nathan Wade was reported by these open records have made is around 600 some odd $1,000. That's like 7 to 9 times more than the other two attorneys. The disparity will also circle around how much work is being put in. If the bulk of the work laid on the desk of Wade, if he's hiring people to go out and make copies of these documents, it's going to cost some money. Now, most of us will look at that figure and be like, whoa, what the devil's going on? But then again, there is a component of it as to why this channel exists in the first place. Before we start talking about this case matter, we were talking about bringing up the financial literacy and just the money in the African American community. And why is it that we're finding out more information about this set of prosecutors in this case as it relates to Donald Trump and how much these federal prosecutors are making? And we don't know how much any of the other cases that Donald Trump is going through, how much those prosecutors were being paid to prosecute those courses. I can say two names. In another high profile case years ago, how much did Marsha Clark make? How much did Chris Darden make? We're not going to know that, right? Not offhand without searching Google. But we do know how much this attorney is making. And why do we know that? Because of the allegations being thrown against him. One of the allegations that Jim Jordan is leveling is that some of that $600,000 that Mr. Wade has received from Fulton County went to pay for trips between he and his alleged partner, which happens to be the DA, just taking trips on company dime, or excuse me, in this case, the federal dollars, our tax dollars. So whether or not the allegations turn out to be true or not, it is something of a distraction. If I was to make a judgment on it, to even talk about it, seeing as how nothing could actually happen in the case, the most the defense could hope for is that the individual who is prosecuting the case be removed. It's not going to be moved out of the judge's hand. The judge here is handling that case. The DA is not going to be recused from any tryst unless that's something that's going to have to come before the bar. This case is standing. But could it lead to the defendant getting another trial or having his case moved to another district? Any one of these defendants, that's yet to be found out. But in the meantime, it is just one of those things that kind of make me cringe when we start talking about some of these things. There was an article that I'll show right now that I guess it was the New York Post or the Washington Post. One of those articles, they were capturing Attorney Wade coming out of his law firm. Yeah, his law firm with his name on it as a partner. And making allegations about how much money the car he drives to his law firm is worth. And I think that was kind of petty. So why are we pocket watching this particular individual? Why are we doing that? It's giving weight to the allegations that Fani Willis has made. And those of you who've written in this comments section and started talking this recklessness, I told you, I'm not here for that. I'm just not here for that. If you want to have an opinion about how corrupt you feel this process is, or these individuals are, fine, you'll have that say. If you want to get on here and talk about Trump 24, oh well, I can't stop you. You're not hurting me or anybody else by saying that. Go right ahead. But don't get up here and acting like this is just sour grapes and you're saying that the race card is being played. When we look at these numbers, and you're finding out how much this individual makes, and the lead attorney who has been hit with, the district attorney's been hit with these allegations, is claiming racism. The only reason she's claiming racism because the focus is on the only black man in the list. So, again, whether or not you want to get into that argument, so be it. I, in this channel, have always been about uplifting the community, trying to educate us on financial matters. $600,000 may seem like a whole lot of money to the average individual. It sure does to me. But in the scheme of things, when you're talking about high-profile attorneys, maybe it's not all that much. It is still going to be yet to be seen if the allegations are true, what kind of consequences could come from this. And yeah, he could be removed from this case. So, let's prepare for ourselves. But what we're not going to do is project until we know the facts. Neither one of these individuals have copped to any of that, the more salacious charges. Right now, let's focus on that money. Leave your comments in the section. Make them clean. Keep them clean. Don't get blocked. I would love to have a dialogue with you, but if you start gaslighting, God bless. You guys have a good one. Talk to you later.